I never had any kind of thing to talking about for the timing now. I was into some kind of frame in the mind as I was into some kind of like beefing of the system that I was not being able to come up with any kind of thing or any kind of track that we do, making sure that we're talking some kind of thing or making some kind of sense about because I think making sure that we have to be getting myself to somewhere mentally there kind of again and again holding me back from my kind of thing that needs to be done because every kind of thing that's kind of holding myself into some kind of gradually some kind of break kind of back. There's definitely I was into to put some kind of into some kind of intuition that need to be had to getting myself kind of putting some kind of work, but I was trying to make sure that we're putting myself to some kind of like situation that we're making feel like I have to be like giving some kind of demonstration that I'm making kind of like assumption that I'm making sure that I could be having to be giving any kind of like direct the impact of it that I could be making sure I'm making any kind of direct assessment or some kind of access or maybe kind of like thing maybe to kind of be spoken by myself so as to get myself like giving some kind of prelude kind of action or maybe kind of like direct some kind of commitment to making sure that we're making kind of direct kind of containment or making sure that we're making kind of direct kind of this kind of injection or this kind of like acclamation or some kind of like this kind of proclamation that need to be have been making so like we're making kind of commitment kind of commitment to be made by my side has to make sure that we're making kind of like talking to you guys and need to make sure that we're accessing to some kind of acknowledgement making sure that we're making kind of verdict or making kind of talk or rather making kind of say that need to be kind of spoken by me in order to get myself that we have to be talking some kind of things or some kind of thing that's kind of like being kind of evident in my life for the timing now is like I'm willing to make sure that I'm kind of getting myself to some kind of days that need to be making myself to some kind of face kind of want because I have to be so like talking some kind of sense what the timing is now I think it's kind of sensible for my mind that what is kind of need to be kind of sensitized in my head is like the things kind of thing is to make sure that we have to give me any kind of like vulnerability or any kind of adjustability to getting myself be holding about myself kind of want but what is kind of needed to be having to be done is like by the time like we feeling like nothing kind of thing is kind of getting myself to some of my ways so as to make sure I'm talking something to be kind of spoken by my headset because there's nothing kind of thing I was speaking about except for the timing or except for the fact that I was trying to make sure that we having to be kind of with the kind of rap for the timing now that touches some kind of rap that is to be kind of kind of sparingly or kind of spangly needs to be making sure that we have to be kind of a rap learning that's why I was doing it in some kind of way I did my way I got done. But still, I was trying to make sure that I could be doing it in some kind of way that has become evident with some kind of karaoke. But definitely, I was kind of good at doing it with the karaoke. With the karaoke, the kind of lyrics were not like into some kind of place that could be having to be like getting myself into kind of syncability because either I was too fast for the karaoke, other was kind of not being able to sync out when we synchronize the kind of a beat or when we not beat the kind of lyrics that's been kind of eating the karaoke and with my kind of speaking style, with my kind of speaking ability, whatever kind of being kind of considering that they are not kind of jamming completely in some kind of sync with each other. That's why I took the kind of another page I took the kind of lyrics from the kind of lyrics.com or whatever kind of thing or some kind of like A to Z whatever kind of like from the Google I Google it I try to read from the lyrics and I did it my way but definitely in the meanwhile I thought I should be making some kind of like new commitment to getting myself I could getting the kind of entire thing done with my ability to do any kind of rap with this kind of whatever karaoke that has been done I did it with the karaoke again a couple of times but definitely it's not sounding as good as it's sounding with the kind of lyrics so it's not kind of my ability to make sure that we haven't been getting myself being kind of sing with the karaoke with some kind of at the same kind of pace at the same kind of evident that needs to be done because at the karaoke this has to be getting myself giving me some kind of like chance or giving some kind of thing or giving some kind of karma kind of chances to getting myself like having to be getting myself into some kind of pain or some kind of zone of somebody else that making sure that we have to be getting myself into some kind of like mentality or some kind of like ideation some kind of like thinking with their kind of perspective but definitely I need to make sure that we have to like interact with my perspective so with their kind of perfect perspective or whatever non-perfect perfectly whatever in between meetings whatever kind of stupid perfect perspective I was feeling like I will be having to be into getting myself in that case like I could be like requesting myself into some kind of making any kind of commitment that could be having to be taking myself in that case some kind of chance that I could be talking me ability to come up with any kind of talkativeness and really feel like I have to be talking some kind of thing that is being kind of evident for the fact that I could be talking some kind of ways or some kind of chances that kind of taking some kind of direct action to make me feel like I have to be taking some kind of no kind of action no kind of brain and never and that's why I was trying to make sure that I have to like taking into kind of thing that I need to have to take myself kind of swap to making sure that I have to taking some kind of serious action that has to be need to be done but I don't know why kind of still people are trying to poke in my life I don't know this is not a people that they kind of poke in my life in some other way that is kind of not kind of evident for me because I'm need to make sure that I have to like living my life at somebody else's kind of a point of view I need to be living my life at my own kind of point of view people are not really letting me to do whatever I'm supposed to do and not really letting me to the way I'm supposed to live and how I will be doing first of all whatever kind of needed to be done by myself because I need to be doing any kind of thing that is kind of evident for my side or for my kind of safety for my kind of security also so that I can make sure I can provide security for everybody else if not kind of providing myself into some kind of security how would I be able to give everybody else some kind of security so what kind of need to be done is like I'm feeling like any kind of ways to make sure that we keep it everybody else but definitely I'm not willing to make sure that we're going about that kind of phase to making sure that we keeping myself being kind of kicking on everybody else but still what is needed to have it to be done is like there's some kind of issues that is kind of taking some kind of plunge in your life like they expect this kind of chance need to be done I'm still feeling kind of bad about myself definitely not come from anybody else. So making sure that I have to be getting any kind of thing that I need to be done, because I have to be making sure that I'm to be able to escape myself in some kind of ways that I have been again and again always being kind of forced to my limit, because it means that I'll be paying for my limit of myself, and when I'll be having to if the limit fails, what will happen to the external, what will happen to the internal, what will happen to the internal kind of a galaxy, because I got to be doing everything on my own kind of a capability. I'm not taking any kind of help from Shiv Thakur. That's why I need to make sure that we have to like doing the entire galaxy, doing the entire scope, doing the entire globe, everything under my spell. Had it been so that I could be taking any kind of help from Shiv Thakur, I could have been leaving it on him. I could have like dating myself. I could have been like doing my life in some kind of easy kind of way, that without having to be like putting myself in any kind of like a chance to getting myself. I could have been like putting myself beyond the limit. I would have been like hopeful for the fact that if I'm leaving myself in the behind the limit, whatever is kind of happening, Shiv Thakur is gonna kind of take care of that. But if it cannot go due to every kind of circumstances, due to my kind of truthness of the fact that I end up rather being a Shiv Thakur myself, so it's not being like, if I'm not being taking myself into in some kind of serious way, that I'm not taking my responsibilities, that I can be having to be playing myself like kind of version of my movement, and I could be singing me or kind of so giving me some kind of mentally that I could be keeping myself in some kind of like safety first, and I could be making sure that we able to save everybody else. Why I will be having to make sure that I could be like letting everybody else to getting themselves into some kind of like chances, like we have to be getting themselves away from any kind of mental that need to be done. So what is need to be done is like, had it been so that I could be not kind of playing it safe, I will be having to like getting every kind of thing that need to be done, protecting me and protecting my home, protecting my soul from everybody else. But if it had been so that I could be like leaving it on Shiv Thakur, I could be like protecting nobody else. I need not to be protecting myself as well. I need to be having to like just giving the tax to Shiv Thakur, and things will be automatically sorted. This is not my mentality. My mentality is like, I'm taking tax, I'm getting my things work, I'm getting every kind of thing done. So I'm getting every kind of thing righteously, ritually, every kind of way that it will be sorted by my perspective, my kind of way. Had it been so that I won't be able to do all this kind of bullshit, always into some kind of way that need to be done, I will be feeling so kind of bad about myself, because at the end of the day, in recent future, I will Shiv Thakur. So from the time being now, if I'm not taking responsibility, if I'm not being able to do whatever needs to be done, whatever Shiv Thakur is doing by his own self, if I'm not being able to do all this kind of thing by myself, how would I be like turning up Shiv Thakur? How would I be like showing myself my face that when I be turning up Shiv Thakur? So it's kind of my responsibility. That's why I'm not kind of putting myself at the verge of kind of any kind of extinction. I've been making sure that we're doing any kind of thing that is kind of keeping myself not being kind of in reserve. But definitely every time people are trying to make sure, especially my soul, definitely they are trying to put me in reserve, and then they're trying to make sure that from the reserve I will try to put some kind of stroke of the life. I will try to put up some other kind of magic, some other kind of like grotesque scale, or some kind of thing like that, or some kind of like phantomish activity that will let me feel like we have to be turning up the kind of tables from this kind of reserve point of view, that with the reserve oil content of me, I will be traveling some kind of 200-300 kilometers, where I'm supposed to strike 200 kilometers, 300 kilometers with, I guess, 4, 5, 7 liter of tanks. 4, 5 of 7 cc of tanks. So I mean to say the 4, 5 of 7 contents of tanks. But definitely they want me to do every kind of thing with minimalistic ability, so to getting myself. I don't know what kind of a training, what kind of bullshit that they're providing to me, but this is not really kind of anything that need to be done. That's why I'm feeling some kind of bad about it. I'm not feeling some kind of like grudgy about myself. That's why I need to make sure that we have not being able to come up with any kind of rap for the timing now. This is not really kind of discerning on anybody, but she shouldn't be doing this. I don't know why she's not using her head. She will be like exhausting me, she will be kind of like making me feel like we getting myself be kind of into some kind of cancellation, that I won't be having to be like getting myself into some kind of way, that I could be having to putting myself across my kind of ability to come up with any kind of limit of myself, then I will be having to like falling frosted like she did, because she has got to her own limit, because at the end of the day she is whatever, but still I could be having to have no kind of limit. That's why I have to be like letting myself into some kind of way that I could be having to be before getting limitless, as I'm already a Shiv Thakur. I have to be like building myself some kind of way that need to be done. I'm not going to let anybody else to be making themselves into some kind of limitless, because even for my soul they have to have some kind of limit, unless until I'm kind of upgrading them towards some kind of limitlessness, because they can't be doing it for years. They have to be like depending on me for every kind of like breathing that they need to be taking. They can't be having to be like doing anything that need to be done to make sure that they have like stomping all over my head. But definitely I need to make sure that I have to be providing them whatever need to be done in some kind of properly ways, that has to be making sure that we have to be giving them my kind of chances to make sure that I could be like upgrading them, rather they could be getting themselves kind of automatically upgraded or kind of updated by kind of trying to like fool me or kind of decoy me. That's not going to be the case ever. That hasn't been the case ever, because what is need to be done, like if I like keeping everybody else in kind of a stock for myself, I could be like if you do whatever. I'm not really talking about Miranda because she's something else. I'm not talking about my parents and there's something kind of else, but if I'm talking about somebody who's not kind of in sync with me or part of me, if I'm not kind of bringing myself to some kind of way that I could have to like binking, B-I-N-K-I-N-G, if I'm not binking myself to some kind of way that I could have to like keeping everything people into some kind of stock of some kind of close congruity, then I will be having to getting some kind of ability to make sure that mass control in some kind of ways, as well as not being able to mass control them, I will be having this kind of a disparity, this kind of like audacity or this kind of ability to come up with any kind of ability to be having to be like dropping any kind of a feast or dropping any kind of a bomb, rather dropping any kind of a like rock for anybody else, rather dropping any kind of chances to make sure that anybody else I will be having to be like having some sort of full control over them, because I'm not really able to make sure that I could be sending any kind of a route across any kind of a globe across the nation, so as to make sure that we controlling them without having to be sending any kind of route. I'm still want to make sure that we have to continue on everybody else. That's why I'm not really able to make sure that I could be having to be like talking this much, but definitely having this so that I could be having to be like putting myself into some kind of like being kind of a compulsion to come up with this kind of talking to this and kind of talking this much kind of a thing that has been planned to make sure that we're talking about this kind of bullshit, because I was basically my own kind of like inner mentality that hasn't been kind of being able to making sure being able to not be different, that hasn't been able to any kind of mental that needs to be having to be getting into any kind of plan that needs to be having to like I can be having to be garlanding this kind of words so as to make sure that we're talking about this kind of situation. Everybody is kind of like dope for me now to be definitely my kind of shoes. I could be having to be killing them or maybe kind of a situation whenever we want, but definitely having this so that when I was into some kind of like all this kind of a thing with my kind of a grandma, whenever back when she was into some kind of thing that she wasn't kind of poking me to do all this kind of bullshit kind of a thing to come up with kind of ways to make sure that we have it turning up against me, we're turning up in some kind of way that is kind of I would be keeping myself to some kind of like reserve. I could be doing myself, I could be keeping the reserve in restricted mood, and I could be doing whatever kind of stuff needed to be done so as to get myself not kind of doing it through my reserve. I would do it through the kind of extras where I would have been made sure that by now I would have again and again would have made everybody else my kind of shoes. I could have been giving them some kind of bash that I will not be able to come up with kind of showing their face. And I don't know why what kind of a thing or what kind of a love grandma has for everybody else. That's why she's kind of always keeping me on reserve. That's why I'm not being able to do whatever kind of needed to be done. That is kind of a whatever kind of a thing that needs to be having to be done for the betterment or not beneficially for the kind of a backing of everybody else, or for to like giving everybody else some kind of better kind of stomping over their face just to make sure that we're killing on everybody else with a low punch as well, with some kind of like stepping on the kind of road that will be giving some of everybody else being kind of killed by me. She's not letting that happen because she's kind of playing some kind of child in my life, some kind of like politics in my life that is kind of evident in my life. That's why we need to make sure that we make any kind of excuse about that. But still I'm kind of a go-getter, I'm kind of like larger than life. I think making sure that we have to still trying to make sure that we have to that despite she's not being able to do she's not kind of trying to getting away from my way, so she's not trying to getting herself away from my kind of poking her nose in my matters, but still I'm making sure that though despite she's poking herself in my matters, but still I'm trying to make sure that we, despite all this kind of weakening, despite all this kind of assurances and all this, despite all this kind of like bullshit, I'm trying to make sure that we're doing whatever we need to do, to make sure that we have to still spending enough kind of thing what is needed to get him to being kind of a kill, because I had been sure that they were not over here to poke on me. Had they said that they were not over here to give me any kind of a condition, by now I would have cut the throat of everybody else. By now the people in the entire galaxy would have been like squared down to one, that is me and my grandma and my family. But apart from that, I would have like escaped DTA and grandpas and fifths, these kind of young people. Other than that, I would have left nobody else kind of alive by the time right now. That's why maybe she is kind of revealing of the fact. That's why she's not letting all this kind of thing to happen. But maybe she's kind of willing to this kind of thing to be happen. That whatever she's doing, like she's kind of having to come up with any kind of plan. This kind of not kind of some kind of mental this kind of need to make sure that we have to be like being able to come up with any kind of fruitfulization of the plan. Is how it is kind of pre-planned by herself. She's kind of doing some kind of her brain, this kind of no-brainer kind of activities, not kind of taking me to any kind of ways that we need to be done. Because having used that being kind of using any kind of brain for my kind of a soul, I will be feeling some kind of bashly, some kind of bad about my ability. That's why I'm not really trying to get some kind of like evidence, some kind of like evidence or some kind of like chance to get any kind of thing that need to be having to be done by myself kind of work. So by taking everybody else to make sure that we're kicking on their face, kicking on their kind of butt, kicking on their kind of whatever can't, not stuff, or even their ass, some kind of thing to make sure that we're waking up early in the morning without having to get everybody else to feel like we have to saying kind of a game service to make sure that we have to like curmudgeon myself on the immediately some kind of myself from everybody by slap starting getting some whole over the situation that is kind of always in my kind of mental to everybody else not being any kind of a chance to give me feel like we have to give a chance to kind of chance about myself. I don't want, but there's something kind of a thing that needs to be done, because having this to making some kind of guesses to us to get us that we have to turning out with some kind of humble for whatever kind of reason. I see no reason for me to come up with humbleness. I still have to be making sure that I'm keeping myself humble just for the sake of my kind of ability for myself, kind of skills, kind of like ritualistic values, kind of integrity, self kind of integrity, self kind of my own kind of origin, self kind of my betterment, for the betterment of my kind of home, of my soul, of my kind of family, of my kind of parents, of myself, of my kind of God, whoever that is, baby, or maybe that's myself. Definitely that's why I'm not making sure that we have it like not to try to get any kind of thing that need to be done in some kind of ways that is kind of not to kind of into some kind of like oxymoron or not, but definitely or not, but definitely it's some kind of way that is kind of flip side of it, or that is kind of like always kind of from into some kind of turnable into some kind of thing that is not really kind of being picturized by myself or by myself. I think it's like with pictures is some kind of thing that is have some kind of flip side, and that flip side of the picture will be having to distraction that are not kind of doing all this kind of thing from myself, my soul, my home, my family, my parents, or maybe my kind of close ones. But definitely for other ones, I don't have kind of a concern to make it kind of a concern to making sure that we have to be giving everybody some kind of chance that they need to be making sure that we have to kind of giving kind of chance that we need to have it to be done to making sure that we have to teach you to come up with any kind of thing that we need to be done to making sure that we have it to be getting them some kind of way that we have it to be like okay, or we kind of alternatively have some kind of alternatives to really have it to be giving some kind of chance to making sure that no kind of thing that need to have it to be done, so as to getting ourselves that we have to be getting us some kind of thing or some kind of thing that we need to have some kind of getting some kind of things that need to have it to be done in some kind of specific ways. So myself it is some kind of ways that need to be done is that I'm still trying to make no kind of excuses, no kind of assumption need to have it to be spoken on my side. Actually this kind of unspoken kind of thing is kind of giving me some kind of value is all kind of valuable my kind of self kind of need some kind of need because I'm trying to make sure that we have it to like it is some kind of grandiose, some kind of leadership value that kind of it is some kind of self kind of containment. I'm trying to get in some kind of whatever situation because I'm not really making kind of assumption any kind of excuses so as to getting people kind of trying to getting myself on this kind of chance that need to be done. But I'm trying to getting some kind of like new kind of ways that what are kind of possibilities that we could have to be coming up in my life that still will be having to be like surviving into some kind of ways or some kind of no kind of ways that we making sure that we have true worthy and some kind of no true worthy giving me some kind of chance to get some kind of hold over the situation because I could be making sure some kind of situation that is becoming prominent in my mind, maybe some kind of situation that is always prominent in my mind, maybe some kind of situation that is not being kind of directed by me, some kind of situation that is directed by my kind of grandma, some kind of situation directed by parents, some kind of situation directed by DT, maybe some kind of situation directed by bullshit. I don't know who that could be. Definitely I'm not looking for making sure that we have been not being able to come up with a situation that will be kind of completely into some kind of my kind of direction. Whatever I need to be done is like whatever I'm kind of taking some kind of control of the situation, and suddenly I'm kind of is complete control of the situation. I will never feel like I'm having to like completely doing some kind of justice for myself, justice for people. As long as people are kind of taking their kind of risk in their hand or my risk in their hand, they're making some kind of mistake. This kind of matter of fact because how hard they will be, how large they will be at the end of the day, they will be just never a god of gods. A god of gods is something else before everybody else and after late to everybody else. I could be making every kind of thing done in certain ways that people will never be able to come up with. They will never be able to anticipate. They will never be able to like figure out. They will never be able to like having to be getting any kind of an idea of it. They will never be able to come up with any kind of situation, any kind of mentally, any kind of ballistics, or any kind of like logistics, any kind of a data of whatever kind of a science, whatever kind of a like belief, whatever kind of faith, whatever kind of magic, whatever kind of shit, whatever kind of like voodoo, whatever kind of shit, whatever kind of people to make it sure that we have to be putting yourself into some kind of ways that need to have to be getting yourself away from the situation. But having to try to get some kind of whole other chances to making no kind of a shit to making sure that we have to come up with some kind of low brain or some kind of low kind of agility factor that kind of always kind of taking some kind of like direct influence in my life. I'm not going to be able to make sure that we're making assumptions to getting everything that's need to be done. But we're trying to make sure that we have it falling some kind of plaster on my face for everybody. So not with like getting everybody to make sure that we have it falling plaster on my face because there's some kind of thing to kind of replan myself because I could be replenishing myself into some kind of new kind of activity, some kind of new kind of fertility, some kind of new kind of ways to get myself to really feel myself. There's some kind of new kind of one because I have been trying to get into kind of thing. I need to make sure that I could have it keep on videos. So trying to make sure that we have it talking some kind of shit about my grandma. Sitting on kind of things just to make sure that we have it like using some other ways to make sure that we're trying to make sure that we tax our grandma. I could make sure that we have it like providing a tax to kind of instead of them to making sure that we have everything getting kind of like heads kind of lost with no kind of tax but definitely with some kind of prepa shit. That's why we making sure that we document this kind of thing and need to be making sure that we making a kind of assumption that kind of exuberance and kind of exuberance and kind of thing exuberance but that there's some kind of thing or maybe exuberance is like my kind of ability to come up with a kind of exuber but definitely exuberance well that would definitely mean that I could have it is some kind of exubing so as to make it exuber. That would be making sure that we have it to be like into some kind of uberance of aberrance or maybe some kind of uber exuberance that we need to make sure that we have it to come up with any kind of like chance or not, but there is some kind of diminishing factor that need to be able to taking some kind of toll on everybody else's kind of life because have it to be like them into some kind of concern so making sure that we have to be taking any kind of chance to getting themselves because of hell by a situation. That's why I'm not letting myself be kind of mentally they need to be done and have it been so that they could be having to putting themselves against myself. I won't be feeling like a nasty or not feeling like a chance to getting themselves be kind of digging deep in myself or maybe digging deep in my own kind of my head, take my mom, whatever kind of shit I will become a concern. But definitely I do not be kind of a concern for everybody else, become a topic for everybody. It's just a kind of part for me because I wish like we making a kind of diet assumption for everybody. It's just a part of me that we have to make some kind of like bad prediction for myself because I'm really kind of born and brought up in that kind of situation that happens. I have to be getting any kind of need, any kind of like want, any kind of like this kind of urgency, whatever kind of emergency, whatever kind of this kind of so mildly whatever kind of situation that is kind of directing me towards this kind of situation has been things are out of my control. And that's the only kind of way I can live. I can make sure that we have to still doing some kind of way that is need to be done. Other side, I'm feeling some kind of like being kind of bashed by the situation that I'm not being able to turn up. Everybody else have to be like not being come up with any kind of reason of myself. That we have to be the version the moment that either have to destroy this, other have to destroy everybody else. That what we need to do, I have to destroy both. They have to be having to like not being feeling some kind of being guilty of my health or guilty of myself because I can be having to not being destructive to us in universal side to be destructing the entire kind of world. But the same thing I have to be destroying the mom as well. But definitely never, but definitely for the betterment. That's what I'm saying. I'm need to make sure that we have to tell everything that I think need to be done because I we have to make a massive some kind of adjustment, some kind of adjusting factor, then it may be adjusting some kind of weight that has to be not being able to done in some kind of ways that have to be like putting massive into some kind of like other kind of transfer my situation because I have not done into some kind of way to make sure that we create some kind of thing. I mean, making sure that we like cleaning myself out from a situation that could be like pouring the water in my glass when I could be having to like with kind of water in my glass for us. I'm trying to make sure that we kind of trying to quench my thirst. That's what we for my situation to make sure that I'm kind of is sort of worthy for the effect to make sure I'm making any kind of wordy or worthy or what kind of thing that we having to making some kind of like word for being kind of worthy is like I'm kind of quite good enough for myself, but still I'm trying to getting myself like good enough for my situation because which I'm kind of good enough for the entire kind of my situation. I'm really feeling for degree and some kind of thing I need to be done because at the end of the thing that need to be done is like some kind of concern is like this kind of bug. I mean, everybody's head that is kind of concerning us kind of note, but definitely I can make sure that we have to be concerned for myself or not, but I have to be concerned for it because this is part of me because I know that I'm not weak for my side. I'm just really weak for everybody. Those apart from me, and apart from me, those who are kind of over there, I'm to make sure that making a commitment or kind of a concern for everybody else. Because what you need to be at the end of the day is down is like I'm kind of deeply massive. Directly, there's some kind of value that need to be done. This beside this some kind of cycle that you have to be concerned because I know that whatever they could be doing is like they could be having to come up with any kind of concern. They could be playing some kind of shit on my head. But it will be this kind of like nutritional or this kind of malnutritional about this kind of political fluctuating or some kind of political like not fluctuating they could be plucking some kind of thing negative that we have to be very necessary to some kind of habituation they need to kind of plucking themselves away from the situation because I feel making sure that we have to like fluctuating themselves away from their kind of practical life, but definitely they only have to be come up with any kind of thing that we have to done because they have to covering themselves with some kind of like grudge or whatever kind of bullshit. I don't know what, but definitely at the end of the day we have to ending up just harming themselves. Not going to be the case because I'm not going to let any kind of thing going to happen to that. I mean, we have to not providing yourself with any kind of thing that we have to be like providing people for everybody so to get so we have to turning up taking a shit, but definitely for the kind of purpose for the betterment of our soul I could be having to providing them whatever need to be done is some better ways including my whatever kind of my shit for their kind of stuff. But that's why I could be having to making sure that we have to like being kind of very much charity way kind of spend trips very kind of frugal way kind of like into some kind of stepping or kind of conscious to make any kind of assumption. Never I could be making sure that we have to be necessary to some kind of need to be done because I could have to be taking this away from the situation into some kind of thing that need to be done. That is why I'm not willing to make sure that making any kind of excuses so to making themselves to some kind of challenge need to be done because I will make sure that they can be having to put in this again and again to some kind of like chances that need to be kind of excused by my side because I will be like missing my kind of self or requesting myself to some kind of rewarding effect and I'm trying to get him some kind of like into my kind of chance because I will be like to be chance by my side my institution with some kind of self kind of insinuation that I need to kind of insinuated by my side because I'm not kind of some kind of thing that I need to make sure that I'm making some kind of personality or kind of frugality because I'm not to make sure that I could be having to be like a lot of kind of trying to some kind of ways to come up with any kind of equivocation or some equivocalization then we kind of different despite in the meaning they will meaning the same but different then we come to come up with any kind of equivocalization just to getting myself coming across the state of keeping my point and need to be like spoken by myself to get way to getting every kind of thing being done that had all this kind of thing that kind of packing me into some kind of ways that I'm not kind of being kind of packful and some kind of smug of myself kind of life because I'm not being able to say or you need to have it to be done because at the end of the day I'm kind of very much verge of my kind of situation to making sure that we're making adjustment amendment need to have it to be done because I can be making sure that I will be taking some kind of like adjustment need to have it spoken by myself because everybody is trying to getting I don't know what but definitely they try to poke out and something like like have the artistry into some kind of way that need to be done because like I have got artist side into some kind of situation that need to be done for artistically need to have it like giving myself an expression to everybody else with which I'm not trying to make sure that we have to be getting myself as a bigger artist for myself because I'm not willing to make sure that we have to like expressing myself as an artist because I'm not kind of a common term which is kind of this is kind of like common noun for everybody else because I'm not looking for any adjective and kind of any kind of common noun for everybody else. I'm not looking any kind of thing that's kind of artistically kind of available for myself. That's not trying to make sure that I'm limits that I'm trying to get in some kind of whole other situation. This kind of situation that will kind of taking any kind of direct action in my life. But for the kind of sake of the situation, what is kind of like some kind of a plan is having me kind of always kind of evident in my life is like whatever kind of like new kind of ways that is kind of holding me back from myself kind of want is not kind of letting myself in having to getting myself into some kind of ways that need to be done. There's having to like we have to like putting myself in some kind of limit that needs to be done. I'm still trying to make sure that we haven't taking myself away from the situation because I'm kind of letting myself in some limit that need to be done because as long as I'm not being able to do what is need to be done and I'm not kind of setting a bar standard for myself or maybe for everybody else, there's not really capable of coming up into any kind of ways because this is we could be trying to be ways to do whatever kind of thing because I could have it taking their kind of head off no matter how whoever and however they could be saying all this kind of bullshit whatever they could be saying including anybody else including my body or including my mother including anybody else who could be taking their kind of head off. That's kind of the kind of thing that's got irritated in my mind. So what is need to be done is like have it been so like kind of playing myself with some kind of like based on being kind of playable but it's like we have to like not really playing a game because I'm not kind of gamer for at any kind of stance or any kind of instance because all this kind of gaming effect is not really giving me any kind of chance to hold myself to some kind of back on any kind of reality because I'm not willing to make it like making any kind of adjustment that is need to be done. That's for the kind of thing that is need to have to consider is like I'm having to like kind of winning me or any kind of like unwillingly try to kind of getting myself away from because situation need to be done because I have to like living some kind of focus from my head that's kind of all this kind of within my life or making sure that we have to taking some kind of plan in my head because time is coming slow for the kind of sack of the kind of situation because I'm kind of feeling kind of nasty or feeling kind of dirt worthy in my mind because because all the kind of dirt there's kind of like lagging out my situation or it's kind of like that there's kind of like taking some kind of like bad influence in my life that is kind of stopping me from coming up any kind of talking to that kind of over here to forcefully of making sure that I have to like coming by this kind of burden in my kind of way to making myself like be completely my rough in order to getting something like I won't be having to making any kind of like chance to be making some kind of assumptions, some kind of like truthfulness, some kind of like truths, or some kind of ways I need to be done because before that I could be having to like killing on every ways, I could be having to be killing on every ways, but this is because I'm not dying, I don't know what's for, but definitely I'm trying to make sure that we have to keeping we kind of like keeping myself not for anybody else, but definitely like we have to making some like adjustments that need to be done, that they have to be like not only able to do whatever thing needs to be done. That's why I could have to like nothing it any kind of noteworthy about my stuff because I have been making sure that I could be like it is some kind of noteworthy about myself or the situation or some kind of situation that is for taking in some kind of ways, but still like trying to make sure that we have to coming in the paths to do whatever kind of need to be done. So I'm enough to make sure that whatever kind of thing I will be doing for the timing now is like enough to give everybody else away from a day. That's why I'm not comfortable giving a challenge to anybody else, but definitely this is not a challenge, but definitely I'm talking about you that having been so you'll be able to come up with any kind of even after 10 minutes talk up straight, you would be having to be giving yourself into some kind of credit that you have some kind of like ability, but you will be never be able to do that. That's why I don't even bother to take any kind of chance in my life because having been so we having to be trying to take any kind of chance in my life. I'm giving you some kind of that will be a stab. My this kind of rap will be killing you just straight away in your ruining your family, who no matter whoever it is, including kind of the biggest of the game or some kind of smallest of the game. That's why we make sure that we have not comfortable any kind of thing that we have to like come up with any kind of proclamation that is kind of blank talk. I don't do any kind of fast talk, whatever need to be done, like I do any kind of thing that is completely kind of in real in kind of realistic and kind of like in my face I could be having to not kind of giving anybody else kind of chance because I've been so I could be having playing no kind of like risky for myself and I have to be having, like taking risk for myself. I could be having to protecting myself from everybody else because at the end of the day I'll be having to be getting myself as Shiv Thakur. So I need to make sure what is need to be have to be done, what the kind of responsibility that has to be kind of taken by myself or by my shoulder. I'm taking it for that. Whatever kind of thing need to be done is like I'm not all kind of being worshipped for by anybody else. I'm not willing to make sure that because I don't worship for anybody else. I don't want being being worshipped by anybody else because I'm too high for everybody else being worshipped about. And have to that I'm not being kind of being worshipped for any kind of thing. That's why all the kind of thing that's very from me. Like I'm never going to do any kind of thing for myself because I have to start doing things for myself. Things will be having to be getting out of for everybody else's kind of hand because at the end of the day I'm completely enough. I'm God of gods. What is need to be done is like I have to be like killing on everybody else because the only kind of thing I could be doing good for myself is like I we have to get rid of everybody, every single humankind, every single god kind, every single body in the entire galaxy, and I'll be the only one who will be surviving. That's why this is kind of my mentality. Apart from that, I believe in nothing, and this kind of thing that's kind of always evident in me. Had it been so that this kind of thing is not being kind of happening in my life, or not actually happening in the life of Shiv Thakur, there's no kind of happiness. I may be sure that this kind of thing is not happening in my life, but definitely this kind of thing is definitely happening, definitely kind of evident in Shiv Thakur's life. So for the betterment for you people, you have to be like go it underground or go hide somewhere, making sure that don't even come in my kind of close path, or don't even try to cross path with me, because having missed it, you could be like not kind of looking for your line, or having missed it, try to get burned or reincarnate, or kind of taking another life after life, as so as to make sure that you have to be taking some kind of brand from me. I'll be making sure that before that even you try to like think it, even in your head, in your mind, even your kind of birth, even your kind of concept in your parents' mind, they will be having to all gotten killed by myself, because I will be not kind of restricting or kind of stopping me from doing anything or to this thing damage need to be done to make sure what the kind of thing need to be spoken to getting myself out of getting all the ways that people will be having to come up with the kind of thing that need to be done, just to make sure that we survive this kind of turmoil, to make sure that we are asking me for like doing some kind of more, because as long as they will be asking me to doing more, I will be feeling that they have not been given yet enough. As long as I'm not being able to give provide enough for everybody else, so making sure that people will be having to be not asking for more, they will be like satisfied with whatever kind of thing has been gotten, because they have been kind of brutally punished for whatever thing they have been doing for like wrong to me. But before that, I'm going to be kind of stopping. But as long as I'm not kind of getting all these kind of vibes in me, that I'm not going to be kind of any kind of like come up with any kind of ounce or any kind of sounds or any kind of ounce of sound that's kind of not poking me, any kind of disturbance that I'm going to feel into every kind of thing that need to be heavily poking myself. It like that makes no kind of sense, because I'm not kind of doing any kind of good for myself, no matter if it's coming from anybody kind of home, maybe kind of bad from the outside source, but still I'm not trying to make sure that we're doing something justified and when people kind of demonstrated by my side. So just for the sake of this kind of situation, is like I'm not going to make sure that we make any kind of justified and need to kind of adjusted by my side, because I we have to be getting everybody else to make sure that we have to put in a kind of situation, because I make sure that we have to turn it against me, or we feel trying to some kind of thing that I need to kind of return by myself, because I'm trying to make sure that we're turning myself in some kind of wayward situation, because I believe what need to be done is like I'm have to be any kind of thing that need to be done is like when I'm trying to be getting everything that need to be done is like I'm going to make some kind of exercises, or maybe some kind of exercises. I need to become exercise by myself, because I'm not trying to make sure that some kind of way to making myself like having giving some kind of like bonus added kind of tips, maybe any kind of added chance, or maybe kind of added kind of like amalgamation, or kind of added promulgation, or whatever kind of thing, or whatever kind of like I don't know where from they get all the kind of recipe from kind of my parents, or from kind of thing, or not from my parents, or from other source. They have to be like getting themselves from being kind of keeping such kind of way that they will have to like never be able to survive. But still, for the kind of sake of the situation, I'm not feeling to make sure that very good chance need to be done. Just for the back of while I'm not providing any kind of thing to anybody else, but definitely help me stop trying to provide any kind of thing to anybody else. People are trying to still making some kind of assumption by myself. This is not going to be the case. That's why I'm not going to make sure that we're letting anybody else to come for survive, because as long as people are there, they will be making any kind of assumption, maybe they could be making any kind of commitment, or making any kind of like proclamation. As long as there is no people alive in my kind of vicinity, as long as I'm the only last one standing, I won't be having any kind of issues about people that will make any kind of commitment, any kind of complaint, or whatever they will be making any kind of like dismantle this kind of ramshackle in my life. They won't be having to be taking any kind of role, or any kind of troll, or whatever kind of thing in my life. That's why I have to getting any kind of thing away from my situation. I'm demonstratively trying to make sure that you're brutally trying to innerly or some kind of like normally trying to get everybody else away from my situation. The kind of drastic kind of situation that need to be done is like I'm trying to like by pathos may or kind of by etiology and kind of this kind of draconian kind of movement that need to be done is like I'm trying to get some kind of thing that need to kind of bacteriologically or be kind of a disease need to be having to be kind of curated by everybody else, not by defeated by my side, and everybody is making sure they're still trying to make sure that they have to like coming out with a sound despite they not be capable of doing what I'm doing for the timing is now. Is still that kind of a thing that is kind of giving someone kind of a headache from me. So I don't know how kind of things are kind of evident this kind of thing. No matter if I'm getting punishment, no matter how hard, or kind of no matter how hard I will be getting punished, but still they are not supposed to do all this kind of thing. They are not capable of doing all this kind of thing, because they shouldn't be capable of doing all this kind of thing. Because despite all those things, if they are capable of doing all this thing, there's some kind of thing that is kind of wrong. That's why I'm not kind of providing any kind of thing to anybody else, because they have to do all this kind of thing that is kind of wrong. Is some kind of mentality that has been not been supposed to be able to be done by anybody else, but still kind of done into some kind of thing being kind of done by some kind of thing, still actively making sure those kind of things that need to be done by every kind. That's why if I'm there to kind of taking any kind of thing, that's why providing anybody else with some kind of shit, so as to making everybody else being kind of away from my situation. And I don't know how come this situation is kind of mentally in my heart, despite nobody else trying to get in some kind of hold on my situation, and not despite me kind of doing all this kind of thing that's kind of brutally kind of understandable for everybody else. Still, they're not being able to come up with any kind of thing so as to make sure they could be eyeing on me, or they could be making sure that they're going to be having to like getting themselves being away from my situation, that they're falling process being kind of accepting their kind of defeat, or instead they're accepting not defeat, but still they could be having to be turning up against me and trying to get in some kind of like hold up the situation. They're trying to like Poka kind of a post Poka kind of a powers or kind of a Poka some kind of thing, or in the position to make sure that they have like turning up against me, and they have like giving me some other kind of provocation that they could have to be turning up as some kind of like open for myself, that I could be having to make sure that the kind of thing that needs to be done is like I could be generally just killing them, and apart from that, no kind of a thing is kind of in my mind to making sure that we have like letting anybody else kind of a source of mercy, because as long as I'm sourcing any kind of mercy, I'm showing any kind of mercy to anybody else. I'm not kind of showing my kind of mercy to myself, or maybe not kind of showing any kind of mercy to my home, my kind of soul, and kind of my grandma. For just for the betterment of my grandma, my soul, my home, and myself, I could be not kind of showing any kind of mercy, because mercy showing nowadays will be meaning that I will be not kind of being friends with Diti, and being friends with Diti is that it means like I should not show any kind of mercy to anybody else.